We have with us, we have the pleasure of having amongst us Mr. Fabio Bonsinogrio, who is the Professor in Robotics Lab of the University Carlos III de Madrid since 2009. He has a Chair of Excellence at Banco Santander at the Robotics Lab in the lab of our university. He's the founder and chief executive of Euron Robotics, a company that aims to transfer information and to develop innovative technology. And he coordinates and manages. He manages his activities for the last 20 years. He has held academic positions in robotics and in industrial systems control engineering at also the mechanics department of the University of Genoa. He's very interested on robotics, on the application of connective systems, robots, different types of robots, and he's the author or co-author of many works, many essays on robotics, and over the last 3 years, he has been the leader of the EUCOARS, Eucognition. He coordinates also the group of special interests of Euron, which is the European Agency of Robotics. Also a special group on methodology and benchmarking. On the development of practices of benchmarking applied to robotics. He's also the founding member of Euron 3. We're going to try for the roundtable to be as active as possible, as dynamic as possible. So I'll take the time between one presentation and the next to introduce the next speaker. So if we are ready, I'll give the floor and let's start. Fabio, I'll give you the floor.
Una cosita antes de...
Just before you start, one more thing. The presentation will last about 25 to 30 minutes. And then we'll have a Q&A session. And we'll change the chairman. I would like to make for this Q&A session as active as possible. I'll introduce, as I said, the speakers. And then after all the 3 presentations, even though you can ask some questions straight after the presentation, after the 3, we can also maybe open a debate or discussion on anything that you may be interested on. Okay, Fabio.
Gracias por la...
Many thanks for the presentation. I'm going to speak in English with regards to the content of the presentation because my Spanish is improving, but I'm still not very confident when I speak in Spanish about a technical topic.
I switch to English. So the purpose of this presentation is about some work that we are doing at the Carlos III in the context of assistive technology, and mainly in the context of developing new kind of interfaces, which in some way of user interface, that in some way are capable of mutual adaptation with the user. Just to give you some background, every one of us, when has to learn when buy a new cell phone, usually have a learning phase when he has to learn how the cell phone work. Our, let's say, aim would be to make at an extreme that the cell phone adapt to us, not me adapting to a cell phone. No? And this in the context of assistive technology. meaning actually we would like to transform this assistive arm, which is EasyBot, in a kind of a third arm that you in some way are able to use as well as yours as possible. No? And this is why we are interested in this application of model from information theory. But about this I will detail more. Just to do some, to give some to clarify things. Actually, the idea of assistive technology is really very old, because here I quote a famous saying from Aristotle already, who said that if we had machines which can work by themselves, we wouldn't need slaves. They wouldn't need slaves, but I mean, we may really improve our society. And there are more ancient reference to this concept of robots and helping you in doing things in the Iliad already. And what I like in this quote is that I am thanks to the help from this Katerina Pastra from Greece. If you look at the real Greek, you see that without any technological savviness, but only on the basis of analysis, Aristotle was able to say that if you want to have something which will really help you in doing your work, this thing needed to have some capacity of anticipating the future, what in modern time we would like cognitive capacity. So for me this is a reason of comfort. No? So just to talk what we are talking about, and just to do a reference to a problem that we usually have with robotics, no? Because in popular culture, in the popular perception, when we talk about robots, you think to robots like this. No? This is the robot from the Forbidden Planet, no? Robbie the Robot. And of course, the scientist speaks fluently, and the robot is also more. On the right side, you see the EasyBot, which is what today we have. And the purpose of this work is to equip EasyBot with a good user interface. As I told you, with an interface which is able to adapt to the user, also considering the fact that the user learns to use the system. So actually, that's why we talk about the mutual adaptation, because the user of the arm is learning how the arm works. But in the meantime, the arm is developing a model of the user. This is the main... and to do this, there is a long way. At this point, we have to look to some technical, meaning some technical mathematical modeling framework. And this technical mathematical modeling framework is a framework based on the concept of Shannon entropy. This is essentially a way to model how much information you transmit from a source to a receiver. And it is interesting for us because it is based on a stochastical probabilistic model. And this stochastical probabilistic model allows to associate to say how much information you get from a process when you do a measure on it. Since this is a long way, because what we eventually are chasing is this mutually adapted system which is actually able to learn